The first half of this year did not go exactly as planned. Some things went better than expected. Some things were harder than expected. Some things moved forward. Some things stalled. And honestly, that is why I like doing a mid-year reset. Not because January failed, not because I need to start over, but because 6 months into the year, you have information you did not have in January. You have evidence. You know exactly what worked. You know what drained you. You know what you kept avoiding. You know what mattered more than you expected. You know what you said you cared about, but did not actually prioritize. And you know what needs to change. So in this video, I want to talk through what I'm changing for the second half of 2026. Not in a perfect aesthetic, everything is figured out kind of way, more in a real life, let's adjust the plan kind of way. Because I don't want the second half of this year to be a repeat of the first half. I want to use what I've learned. And the first thing I'm changing is that I'm going to stop treating planning as the same as progress. This is a big one for me. I love planners, I love systems, I love notebooks, I love resets. But I've also learned that planning can become a very comfortable form of avoidance. It feels productive. It feels organized. It feels responsible. But if nothing actually changes in your life, then the planner is not doing its job. So for the second half of the year, I want my planning system to be much more connected to action. Not just pretty pages, not just lists, not just future ideas. I want my planner to help me decide what matters, what needs to happen next, and what I'm actually doing about it. The question I want to keep asking is this helping me move forward? Because if the answer is no, I need to simplify. The second thing I'm changing is how I think about content. In the first half of the year, I learned a lot by creating volume. I committed to a 100 video challenge, and that has taught me more than any amount of planning would have. I learned how to record. I learned how to edit faster. I learned how to make thumbnails. I learned what topics people seem to respond to. I learned that some videos I expected to do well did not do much, and some videos surprised me. So for the second half of the year, I want to keep showing up, but I also want to become more intentional. Better hooks, better titles, better thumbnails, better storytelling, better structure, more useful examples. Not just videos for the sake of more videos. I still want consistency, but I want stronger consistency. The third thing I'm changing is that I want to build more evidence of progress. This is something I've been thinking a lot about. It is very easy to feel like nothing is happening when you are building something slowly. A YouTube channel, a healthier lifestyle, a business, a new chapter, a better home, a more intentional life. The big goals can still feel far away. But when I actually look at the evidence, things have changed. I started with a much smaller channel. Now the views are growing. Subscribers are slowly increasing. My skills are better. My confidence is better. My systems are better. My environment is better. So I want to keep tracking that. Not obsessively, not in a way that makes me anxious, but in a way that reminds me things are moving. The fourth thing I'm changing is my relationship with spending. This one is very real. There are things I want. There are tools I can absolutely justify from a creator perspective. There are upgrades I know would help me. But I'm also learning that not every good purchase is a right now purchase. That has been a hard lesson. Because sometimes when we are building a new life, you want the tools that make the future version feel closer. The new camera, the desk setup, the course, the planner, the app, the trip. And some of those things may be good investments, but timing matters. So for the second half of the year, I want to make cleaner decisions with money. Not from panic, not from emotional relief, not from this will finally fix everything, but from strategy. What solves a real problem and what can wait? What supports the bigger life I'm building now without making my present life more stressful? And that is the question. The fifth thing I am changing is that I want to build more life into my life. That might sound funny, but it is true. It is very easy to get stuck in work mode, problem-solving mode, budgeting mode, caregiving mode, content mode, planning mode. And suddenly the whole year becomes something you are managing instead of something you are living. I don't want that. The whole point of building a bigger life is not just to be more productive. It is to have more experiences, more energy, more curiosity, more connection, more adventure, more experiences, more moments that make you feel alive. So for the second half of the year, I want to say yes to more experiences, even if they are small. A walk, a coffee shop, a local outing, a class, a day trip, a concert trip, a travel goal, a new skill. Something that reminds me I'm not just trying to get through life. I'm trying to participate in it. The sixth thing I am changing is my energy. Not in an extreme way, not in new body, new life, everything changes Monday kind of way. I've done enough of that. I'm more interested now in sustainable energy. Sleep, walking, getting on my bike, lifting weights, food that helps me feel better, less junk when I'm stressed, more water, more movement, more realistic routines. I don't want health to become another perfection project. I want it to become support. Because if I want to create work, travel, help people, build a business, and actually enjoy my life, I need energy. And energy is not separate from the bigger life. Energy is part of the bigger life. The seventh thing I'm changing is that I want to stop waiting for the future version of myself to save me. This might be the biggest one. It is so easy to think, when I have more money, I'll start. When I have the camera, I'll make better videos. When I have the perfect planner, I'll be more organized. When I have more confidence, I'll put myself out there. When I have more clarity, I'll make the move. But I don't want to keep putting my life on hold for some imaginary future version of me. I want to build from where I am, with what I have, with the tools I have, with the energy I have, and with the imperfect circumstances I have. Because waiting has already cost me enough. So for the second half of 2026, that is probably the biggest reset. Less waiting, more action, less overthinking, more evidence. Less perfection, more progress, less managing life, and more living it. And maybe that is what a mid-year reset is all about. Not starting over, not shaming yourself for what did not happen, not pretending the first half of the year was perfect, but pausing long enough to ask, what did I learn? What is working? What is not working? What needs to change? And what kind of life am I actually trying to build from here? For me, the answer is still a bigger life, more freedom, more confidence, more momentum, more possibility. And for the rest of this year, I want my decisions, my systems, my habits, my money, my content, and my energy to support that. I'd love to know if you do a mid-year reset, and if you do, what is the one thing you are changing for the second half of this year? Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.